no, you need to come here. See their rich culture, their rich traditions. Just one last thing in the set which I haven't complete, it's nuclear. So why not to go and chase after that dream?
It's very interesting for me why girls go to such sphere.
If guys can do that, why girls cannot do that as well? I cannot take back. I'm going to continue no matter what.
Hello, my dear friends. This is a project Friendship Without Limits about the life of young foreigners in Russia. As always, we are shooting at the National Research Nuclear University MEPhI in Moscow. More than 1,000 international students from all over the world study in MEPhI. We have already met up with really ambitious and versatile guys and girls from our university, but we have so much more to learn about other cultures and traditions. So let's dive right into it. The project Friendship Without Limits is being implemented with the support of the Rosatom State Corporation as the part of the development program until 2030. And today our guest is Anna from Cambodia. Anna, hi. And
hello.
It's very nice to see you there.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you too, finally.
Yeah, finally. We tried so many times to connect and so we succeeded.
Yep, finally.
So how did you decide to go to Russia for studies and why you chose MEPhI in particular?
Well, before I answer this question, I would like to go back a little back to my past, because I have a background of a bachelor in electrical engineering. So
wow.
I have studied all of the energy resources, wind power plant, thermal power plant, and coal, hydro power plant, solar, and everything. So, which is just one last thing in the set which I haven't complete. It's nuclear. So why not to go and chase after that dream? So that is why I am seeking for a master degree of nuclear engineering. And while I was going on the internet searching for that, and yes, I found Russia. Well, technically, as we have all know, Russia is a really big country with a rich culture and opportunity, and also the standard of education, and especially nuclear technology as well. It's really great. So yeah, that is why I chose Russia. And talking about why I chose MEPhI as well, let's just talk about the name of MEPhI, National Research Nuclear University, MEPhI. So yes, I aim to come here for nuclear engineering. So yeah, that's the real thing and the main thing. That's why I chose MEPhI as well.
That's a really interesting story. Yeah. And I think I can call you a tech girl in this case.
Maybe.
It's interesting for me personally why you chose such a sphere to study, because I'm humanitarian. I studied book publishing in the university, so it's very interesting for me why girls go to such sphere that is, let's say so, we usually think as a man sphere, maybe.
Yeah. So talking about that, let's just talk about in my family, everyone in the family, my parents, and literally my uncles and my cousins. They are all just working their state governors or officers, something like that. And I am the only daughter of the family, which is I grew up, let's just say it's because I am the only daughter. So my parents kind of spoiled me as well. And I don't know, but by some point I grew up and I found out that I would like to be an engineer.
Great.
Because I believe that if guys can do that, why girls cannot do that as well? So there's still the same stereotype we have in Cambodia as well, because I said I told my parents I wanted to be an engineer, but I'm still afraid that because of the niche market in Cambodia of the girls becoming the female engineer. So I technically approached for another major. Well, technically I have 2 bachelors and 2 masters as well.
Wow.
So I just told you that my background was bachelor in electrical engineering, which is my main goal that I always wanted to, the dream since I was young. And the second one, because I'm afraid that I couldn't approach that dream. So I took another major, which is a Bachelor of Economics. And after I graduated, because for my electrical engineering university, it took longer than economics university. So like it's 6 years, and due to COVID as well, so it expanded to almost 7 years for my graduations. So like for my economics school, I only spent like 4 years. So like, which like during that time after I graduated for my economics, I think like I still have sometimes more. So instead, my mom just said like, okay, let's continue master degree of economics. So I continued my study of economics. That is when I graduated, and I successfully defended my thesis in Spain.
Wow.
Yes. So at the same time, while I was like, as I remember, it was just like a month before my defense in the thesis in Spain, I got called and informed by email that I was selected for Russian government scholarship.
Great.
And yes, I got interviewed via online from Spain. And I was really excited because, you know, like as I just told you before, I always wanted to be an engineer, that dream. Even though economic is like what my family always wanted me to, and just because like we are afraid of like that stereotype of thinkings, and also like that mindset that it has been for a while. I'm sure that's not just in Asian family or Asian cultures, but like you just said, like even in Russia as well, you're Russians.
Yeah, of course.
You also think about that. So I just in case, like, you know, like in case this plan A doesn't work, then we have a backup of plan B. But still, at the end of the day, once I just set my foot in Russia and started my engineering degree as a nuclear engineering student, I feel like I cannot take back. I'm going to continue no matter what. So yes, I'm not going to give up this plan B.
Great. So what was the first thing that surprised you when you came to Russia? What did you think about this country before coming there? And maybe you also and your family had some stereotypes, like the most cold country in the world, something like that. And that turned out that maybe partly true or not true at all.
Well, yes, I was concerned as well. But before I actually came here, I did some research too. And plus, I had have some friends who already like studied in Russia before I came here. So I talked with them. I do my own research, and like I told you, no matter what, you better come and explore that by yourself, and you will see like 100 times of hearing. It's not as the same time as like one time you see by your own self. So when I just set my foot in here, like set my foot out of the airplane, the first thing is, you know, like I said, like I came here by the end of October, which is like peak of, let's just say not too much peak, but like it's like winter in here already. The temperature when I just got here, it was like about -10 something. Yes, so the first impression is the cold, of course.
Yeah.
But I was like -10, but like with the cold and everything, I feel like it's still bearable. I mean, like, it's bearable. It's not that bad. I mean, like, I start, like, judging by, like, looking through the internet. People was, like, frozen, say, for example, in Yakutsk, it's really cold. But I say, -10, it's not that bad. So that was the first experience of, like, feeling surprised about the weather. Like, it's really, like, the difference between, like, the warmth and the cold. But still, I am just an Asian girl, and I can bear with that. So the first one is the temperature, like, the weather. And the second one is, I think about people. Let's just talk about people. Is that like Russian people, they don't smile. They're not friendly. But once I turned out to be here, people like all the Russian people I met, they're all friendly. They're helpful. They smile a lot. And I don't think why, like the whole world spread this kind of like words or jokes. Like, I don't know, it's like such a joke or stereotypes or that. I don't think so. Look, you've been talking with me over 10 minutes. You smile a lot. And like, this is really totally different from what people say. So people are friendly, they're helpful, and like that. And also talking about architecture and culture and foods and traditions, I am really amazed by that. Like, because like, you know, like Russia is a really big country. It's located in 2 different continents, both Asia and Europe. So it's like the cultures are mixed every locations, like, and especially like I got jaw dropped when I went to the exhibitions in Whittier Car Park. That they did like they call it like exhibition of Russia. Like, they do all the regions in Russia, like showing all their culture, their unique cultures and traditions and foods or whatever they produce. I was like, wow, how the world never know and talk about this. Why they only talk about Russians are cold, like not just the cold weather, their people are cold. No, you need to come here, see their rich culture, their rich traditions, foods. I mean, like explore a lot of beautiful, look at their architectures and everything.
Let's talk about your country now. What is the thing that is similar about living in Russia and living in Cambodia, and what is completely different?
Talking about living in Russia and talking about living in Cambodia, the difference, like I would say, the first is the weather, because we are in Southeast Asia. We are in like our country is most likely warm, like tropic weather. So it's like warm and a little bit of humid. So the average temperature of Cambodia, I would say it's between the 25 degree to like 35 degree, which is pretty hot for you, I know. 25, like 20 or 25 in here is really hot already.
25 is quite okay, even in Moscow, but more than 30, it's really, really...
But by this year, Southeast Asia, we got like another heat wave. Like lately, it was like up to 40 degrees.
Oh my God.
38. I know, it's pretty bad. That is the weather, the difference of the weather, and also the time zone. Yes, it's different as well. It depends on the season. For some seasons, the time zone between Cambodia and Russia, like the difference is 4 hours. Some season is like 5 hours. Also, like, talking about the food. Yes, Russian food is not really different from European food. I mean, like you guys have like the market, like the supermarket, the vegetable and stuff is the same. But in my country, Cambodia or any Southeast Asia, I believe we have more vegetables than you guys do. For example, the green vegetables, we have varieties of that. Like I can't even count that. And as I think the green vegetable that I can see here is probably spinach, and some others a little bit like couple more. But in Cambodia, I think at least 10 types of green vegetables. And so it's like, which is also different. And talking about the flavor of the foods, because we are in Southeast Asia, Southeast Asian people, we love our food to be like a strong flavor, like a bold flavor. And in Russia, just like other European countries, like the food most likely you guys prefer it's mild, not too strong like yours. And we do use a lot of chilies in our food, but you guys, instead of chilies, you guys use pepper. So that's just the difference of the foods and stuff as well. And talking about architecture, it's also different too, because Asian, like Southeast Asian and also Cambodia itself, we have our own same architecture design, which is when you just go there, you will say, this is Asian architecture. And when you come to Russia and other European countries, you say, this is European architecture design. So that is also different. And
what about architecture? I know that Cambodia flag is the only flag in the world that has a building on it.
Yes. So talking about that building, it's not a building, it's called a temple. So the name of that temple is called Angkor Wat Temple, which is also in the World Heritage. And then the rank of it is number 7 of the world. I think the World Wonder Temple or something. And also it was built between the 9th until the 12th century. And it's like, as I have known, it's the biggest religious temple in the world, one of the biggest ones. Because at that time, you know, like our country, we are based, like our national religion right now is Buddhism. But before that, during the time that they were building that temple, it is based on Hinduism. So it's like, if you go back and check the flag, like the temple, that temple has 5 tops. So that 5 top things represents like the 5 gold deeds in Hinduism. Also, because like our country has been like under the power of Hinduism from the past. So our Buddhism right now, it's not actually the pure Buddhism. It's the mix of Hinduism and Buddhism.
That's really interesting.
So, yes. And because of that, we use that temple to put it in our flag. And that temple in the flag with the white color represent the pure, like purity, and also like the rich culture and traditions that we have.
Let's discuss some cultural points now. What languages are spoken in Cambodia?
We only have one national language and it's called Khmer language. But we do have other languages, but not really popular. I mean, like we have like some people do speak English and some French and some Chinese and others. But still, for like the national language, we only have one. It's Khmer. So like we are not like others country. Like even though like you travel from one place to another in Cambodia, just one language is enough. People will understand you. That's all. But we do have some slangs from different locations of.
That's interesting.
Like the country. For example, I am from the province. My province, we have some slangs, and when I go to the Phnom, like the capital city, if I use that slang, some people would understand, but some people would not. So it's just like still one language, but we do have a little bit of different slangs.
The same thing about Russia, really, because one thing can be named really, really differently in different regions.
Yeah.
And when you pronounce some word, say some word in Russian, but you are not in the region that this word is spoken, so people will ask you, what is that? What do you mean?
Yeah. It's like that kind of problems actually occur sometime in Cambodia too. But after all, like we still figure it out. So yeah.
What about holidays? I know that there are some holidays and celebrations that are taken in Cambodia but are not taken in Russia.
Yes. So talking about holidays, most of our holidays based on our religions. Like let's just talk about the main holiday. The main holiday, we have our Khmer New Year, which will be 3 days of held it will be occur in April, most likely from the 13th of April until the 16th. And we celebrate it based on our religions, it's Buddhism. And another one, we call it Women's Day. It's also like one of the biggest holidays too, which is based on the religions as well. And it is most likely celebrated between, I think in between September and in some year it can be in October. And the durations of it is 15 days, but the main celebration is 3 days. So yes, and the others holiday we have for like International New Year, like the 1st of January, or we have like International Labor's Day, or we have International Children's Day, and some others more. But most likely, like the main 2 holidays, like I told you, and no, there's another one main as well. We call it MEPhI Chrat Preh Neng Kol. It's in like the name, like it's Khmer language, and that holiday is celebrated for 3 days as well, and based on like based on like it's more likely like to agriculture and also to dedicate of like God or goddess who actually taking care of agriculture things. So like it's more like a religious things. So yes, most like of our holidays are religious holidays. So that is why it's different. And because like Russia is like Orthodox country, so like our holidays most likely.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention that we are similar there because we also have Orthodox Christmas and Orthodox Easter, and that's let's say so really important days in the year circle. And when I was preparing for our interview, I saw some pictures of a national Cambodian dress costume, and it's really amazing. So I wanted to ask you, in what occasions do Cambodian people wear that?
So for our national costume, We only wear that most likely. Remember that I told you about like the Khmer New Year? Yes, so most likely we only wear that when we go to pagoda. So you have the church for your Christianity, but in our religions, we don't have church. We call it pagoda. So that is the same thing as church.
Yeah.
So we only wear that when we go to pagoda for New Year, that Khmer New Year, and for Chumban that I just mentioned. And sometimes when we go to the wedding party, and also another one, it could be during like the funeral. But for the funeral, we have the same color, black and white. But for another occasions that I just mentioned earlier, like the 3 other occasions, you can have any different colors. But just like we have like wearing our traditional clothes, something like that. So we don't just wear it like every occasion. Most likely only like these 4 types of occasions.
But that's still a really nice tradition, because I can say about Russia that we barely wear national clothes, even during holiday celebrations or something like that. So that's really interesting to know that.
Let's just, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like talking about your national costume, I saw it a couple times on the internet, and we have similar thing as well in Cambodia.
Oh, really?
So as I remember, your national costume is the guy wearing like a long sleeve white shirt, right? And you have something like a little bit of
embroidery.
Design. Yes, we have that too. But it's also our, let's just say, a national costume too, but not for like the ritual and things like that, but for traveling.
Oh.
And these kind of costumes most likely are sold at like a tourist place, like like at Angkor Wat Temple that I just mentioned, or other tourist place. And we have that too. For the girl, you're wearing like white dress, we have that as well. Just white color with like the Angkor Wat Temple themes on there. It could be like long sleeve shirts or short sleeve shirts, but like it's still white, the same kind of fabric that you've been producing, or like main seams. I think like totally I think probably 80 to 90% same, just only different for like the design of like the picture. Like the design, little design that we have our temples, and you guys have your own design like that, but it totally similar.
That's surprising, really.
Yes, I was surprised when I just first saw that too. Yeah.
And what about culture? What arts are the most popular in Cambodia? Maybe painting, traditional ones?
Yeah. We have our own traditional dances and style through different times or like different era, but we don't really use those kind of dances. We only perform them during like a special occasions, like a special celebrations of New Year, housewarming party, or like main event. But we do have our traditional dance for like a party, dancings for party, dancings for wedding party. We do have that too. But talking about art, painting, we don't really have that much. Like we do, but I don't really think it's too popular. But we do value the art by like craftsmanship, making art from the wood. We sculpture the wood into like things like Angkor Wat Temple made by the wood, my handmade, or sculpture that from like the stones, like some kind of jet stones or something like that. We do value that kind of art of craftsmanship. And other things I would say is like singing. Yeah, people love singing. Every time we sing, we're happy, we sing, like take karaoke. Yeah, people do that all the time. So, yeah.
Maybe there is a specific genre of music from Cambodia.
Yeah, we do. Like I told you, like we have different dances from different eras, and also like the music and the song as well from different eras and different time.
Let's talk about your future. You mentioned that you have studied and you're studying so many different engineering majors. So what is, let's say so, the most favorite for you? Maybe in what sphere you want to build your career?
I would say nuclear. I want to become a nuclear physicist. So after I came here and I started my nuclear engineering journey, I fell in love with it really hard. I was like, when I was in grade 7 in secondary school, I always wanted to become an electrical engineer. But after I graduated and I came here, I changed. And I think I changed for the better for this one. I think this one is even better. And that is why I set my goal after I graduated from here. I want to pursue my higher educations of PhD or maybe postdoc after that as well as nuclear physics. So yes, I want to become a nuclear physicist.
Great.
In the nearest future. Thank you.
And I also can't help but ask about, I know that you actually take part in Rosatom activities, so can you please tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. So let's just go back a little bit to Cambodia, how I got this scholarship. So I don't know in other countries, like Russian government scholarships are like that or not, but in my country, Russian government scholarship is divided into two parts, like two quotas. We call it two quotas. The first one is, we call it general quota, is for normal fields. And the second one, we call it Rosatom quota, which is about nuclear and the related field. So it can be in that field, in that quotas, it has like nuclear engineering, we have electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, physics, chemistry, biochemistry, which is related to nuclear. So I apply that Rosatom quota. And also during the time that applied, I passed. And also in Cambodia, we just formed a research center, our national research center, which is a shortcut, we call it Cambodian. And I'm also volunteering and working there as well. And we actually specifically in nuclear and atomic, something like that. And we work closely with Rosatom itself from Cambodia with Rosatrudnichestvo. And so, yes, that is why I got my close contact with Rosatoms. And my positions in Cambodian is I am the head of Department of Relations, Media and Information.
Great.
And also, once I got my, let's say when I got the Russian government scholarship, but before I got to come to Russia, as I believe, in around September, I got informed by Mrs. Vera. She is the managing director of Rosatom's in program of Marie Curie scholarship. She informed me because I am in Rosatom quota student, and also we have like IAEA. They have that special scholarship for students, which is called Marie Curie scholarship, like fellowship program. And she asked me to apply since like it's kind of mandatory for students to apply. And I actually applied and I passed. So that is when I earned my recognitions from Rosatoms. And because of that awardee, I got to participate into like a lot of international events. Like for the first one that I got to work with Rosatoms is like the first international event. It's Global Atomic Quiz 2023. It was held at Atom Pavilion in Widian Ha. And also the second one, I would say the World Youth Festival. I got chosen as like a Rosatom ambassador, and I was there. My role was there. I was like an English-speaking moderator for the icebreaker game, choosing like to choose the candidate to go to the North Pole for nuclear icebreaker.
Great.
Yes, I was there just like as the moderator for the event for 2 days. We have like 2 different teams. And for another program in World Youth as well, for Rosatoms, but another different program. It's like a quiz, a pop quiz game do you know something about nuclear? And do you want to challenge yourself with your nuclear knowledge? Something like that. So I was the speaking English moderator as well. And after I came back from the World Youth Festival, I got invited to IAEA in head office at Austria, Vienna, as for International Women's Day and also Women in STEM. They celebrate Women in STEM Day at the same day. So they invited all military awardees from all over the world and list Meitner awardees as well. And I got to go there as a representative student of military from Rosatom of Russia. As I remember, so far so good. That was that.
What is the most amazing thing for you about taking part in Rosatom activities and about studying in MEPhI?
Well, I think I would say the Global Atomic Quiz events. I love about that because I got to challenge myself, and it's really eyes opened for me experience because you usually sit down and study as a student. You never got to go out and explore the real things and challenge with new knowledge and stuff. So during that event that I was participated, I got to participate in that program as well. I mean, that quiz, that Global Atomic Quiz. And guess what? Me and my friend, we got selected as the top 100 winner from all over the world.
Wow.
Yes. We got the certificate of a PhD in nuclear physics. And I was so excited. And it was a really amazing experience that I would never forget. I would love that. And also for talking about studying in MEPhI, because I'm taking the major of nuclear engineering. So going out and taking projects with Rosatom, it's also opportunity for me to build connections and also earn more recognitions and also to sharpen my knowledge as well. So for example, going to World Youth Festival, I got to know more about tokamak, which is the newest, the fusion reactor, which is built by Russia, Rosatom themselves and others more. And I was always excited about that during my class, learning about these lessons. And now I got to hear that projects and seeing those pictures by my own eyes. It was really amazing. To be honest, it's worth it. It's worth it every second.
Great. This podcast is being filmed mostly for young people from all over the world who are thinking about studying abroad, studying in Russia, and choosing MEPhI. So, what can you advise for those young people who are going to enter the MEPhI University?
So, my advice, if you want to come to MEPhI, not just MEPhI, any other university in Russia, make sure you are ready. I would just say this one, but make sure you are ready because coming to Russia is another challenging thing. I'm not talking about challenging anything. I'm just talking about educational field. Because like I just mentioned before, exams in here is taken by oral. And to be honest, how hard it really is, I'm going to say it's really hard. You would have never experienced that before, even though I've been to experience in European educational systems or Asian educational system, but once I just got here, it's pretty new. And me, myself, I've seen by my own eyes, many of my friends got expelled back to the countries. So, like I said, make sure you're really ready to come here. If you are ready to face and you really want to challenge yourself, then just come. But at the end of the day, I believe if you can fight with that, you will just sit down and say, it's hard, but I made it, and I'm proud of it. I'm gonna imagine at the end of the day, sitting with the graduation suit, holding the degree of an engineering degree, like a diploma degree, like we call it diploma, right? In here. So sit down and telling your parents, maybe they would come here or by video call, mom, dad, brother, and sister, look, I made it. It's like at the end of the day, those tears that I've been crying because of the hardship, I didn't sleep because I've been like stay up late doing all the assignments and tasks, and all the fear of all the fear that I've been feel like I couldn't make it. But look, at the end of the day, I made it. And guess where my degree is from? I graduated from Russia. I earned an engineer degree from Russia. Isn't that cool, Mom and Dad? This is like, at the end of the day, it's really positive.
That's a really amazing feeling, yeah. And the last question for our interview that I also ask every person who comes to our podcast, do you have a dream in your life that you want to fulfill? Maybe it's a career, maybe it's something personal.
Of course, I do. Like I just told you. So because of I got a contract with Rosatom itself, and also IAA for my Mercury fellowship internship. So once I graduate here, I need to fulfill that contract. I need to take 1 year of internship. I don't know where it will be. It could be in Russia, Rosatom itself, or any other country which is the membership of IAEA. But after that, I want to continue my PhD that I just mentioned before, and also postdoc to be a nuclear physicist. Like at the end of the day, still, I really want to become a nuclear physicist. And I would say that I would like to see myself in 10 years more working in more like a research center or in educational systems than just going to work at let's just say it's like a nuclear power plant or any other places. It's not like I don't like it, but it's just like I'm more into like researching field, educational field. So probably professors at a university, or maybe working at a research center. It could be at CERN, or it could be at, who knows, Rosatom's research center itself, or maybe NASA, or maybe Roscosmos, who knows? Yeah, and another thing is, of course, having a family, marrying the love of my life.
Great.
Yep.
I really wish you all the best
Thank you
in
so
both.
much. Yep.
And now we have some blitz questions, so you can answer in one word or one sentence. So please name one word for Russia.
It's amazing.
Studying in MEPhI for you is?
It's hard, but it's worth it.
Great. And what do you think are 3 main qualities of a Russian person?
The first one, I would say amazing. The second one, I would say smart. And the third one is, I would say, hey, boy, this is so hard. Okay, smart, amazing, and I would say beautiful. Russians people are beautiful. I love your genes. Both men and women, you all have you look beautiful, to be honest. Like compared to other Europeans, no, like Russian beauty standard is really in another level. Like your genes, it's really in your genes. You're beautiful. You people are beautiful.
Anna, thank you so much for coming. You know, your story is so inspiring. Really, I feel so excited. I feel so inspired, not only by myself, but I also think that you guys who watch this video are also inspired about Anna's story life. And I think that will be an inspiration for you to come here and study in MEPhI. So stay tuned and watch the next episodes of Friendship Without Limits.